Imagine you're out for a walk on a perfect sun-drenched afternoon, breathing in the fresh air, when a dull ache begins to radiate through your calves. It's not the familiar burn of a good workout, but a deep, unwelcome throb. You try to shake it off, blaming it on a long day. But what if the source of this discomfort wasn't in your stride, but on your plate? What if I told you that common, everyday foods could be silently constricting the very lifelines your legs depend on? These are foods that can narrow your blood vessels, damage your nerves, and in the most severe instances, lead to what doctors call necrosis, the death of tissue. Necrosis isn't just a clinical term. It's the stark reality of what happens when a part of your body is starved of the blood and oxygen it needs to survive. For your legs, this can mean relentless pain, infections that refuse to heal, and in the most tragic cases, amputation. And the most unsettling truth? The path to this precipice doesn't begin with a sudden injury. It often begins, quietly, in your own kitchen. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on 7 foods that might be nudging your legs toward that dangerous edge. Some are so familiar, you might find one in your refrigerator right now. And before you dismiss this as something that could never happen to you, remember that these effects accumulate over years, often without a single warning sign, until the damage is already profound. If you value your mobility, if you want to continue walking with strength and without pain, I urge you to stay with me. And as we go, let me know in the comments. Type a 1 if you're ready to protect your legs, or a 0 if you feel they're already in peak condition. Be sure to subscribe to Health 365 so you never miss vital insights like these. Let's start with a breakfast icon, a beloved favorite with a well-kept, dangerous secret: bacon. The mere sound of it sizzling in a pan is enough to make your mouth water. That smoky, savory aroma drifting through the house on a Sunday morning feels like pure comfort. But here's the reality. For all its deliciousness, bacon poses a silent threat to your legs. Each crispy strip is laden with sodium and saturated fat, a powerful combination that can lay the groundwork for serious circulation problems. Excess sodium forces your body to retain water, driving up your blood pressure. Over time, this constant pressure causes your arteries, the delicate pathways for life-giving blood, to harden and narrow. Combine that with the saturated fat, which has a notorious habit of clinging to artery walls, and you create the perfect conditions for plaque buildup. This arterial narrowing is what doctors call peripheral artery disease. When it affects your legs, it chokes off the supply of blood, oxygen, and healing nutrients to your muscles and skin. This isn't just speculation. Research from the American Heart Association confirms that regular consumption of processed meats like bacon is linked to a higher incidence of vascular disease. You might first notice it as a cramp in your calves during a walk, a persistent coldness in your feet, or a small cut on your toe that stubbornly refuses to heal. In its most severe form, this poor blood flow can lead to devastating tissue damage. Now, am I suggesting you banish bacon from your life forever? Of course not. Life is too short for absolutes. But consider making it an occasional indulgence, not a daily staple. If you crave that savory flavor, try a lower sodium turkey bacon. Or better yet, swap it out a few times a week for avocado on whole grain toast. You'll get a similarly rich, satisfying flavor, but with healthy fats that help keep your circulation flowing freely. And speaking of salty, fatty favorites, Let's turn to another staple of ball games and barbecues, often found nestled in a bun: the hot dog. It seems so innocent, doesn't it? Sizzling on the grill, ready for a line of mustard. For many of us, hot dogs are woven into the fabric of happy memories: summer picnics, cheering crowds, backyard gatherings. But beneath that nostalgic surface is a mixture of ingredients that quietly wages war on your blood vessels, especially those that nourish your legs. As a processed meat, hot dogs are filled with preservatives like sodium nitrite. While these chemicals give hot dogs their characteristic color and taste, they can also form compounds in the body that damage the delicate lining of your arteries. A damaged artery becomes stiff and is more prone to narrowing, making it a struggle for blood to flow all the way down to your calves, ankles, and toes. Add to that the high sodium content, and you have the same blood pressure-raising effect we saw with bacon. More strain and more wear on your entire circulatory system. Then, there's the fat. Many hot dogs contain trans fats, the worst kind for your body. They not only raise your bad LDL cholesterol, but also lower your good HDL cholesterol. It's like firing the cleanup crew and doubling the amount of trash being produced. Eventually, the system gets clogged. And when the arteries in your legs are clogged, every step can become painful, and healing from the smallest scrape can become a long, drawn-out process. The Harvard School of Public Health has clearly linked regular consumption of processed meats, including hot dogs, to an elevated risk of cardiovascular disease. And remember, your legs are part of that same system. If hot dogs are a cherished tradition, you don't have to give them up completely. Look for nitrate-free options, or perhaps switch to grilled chicken sausages, which offer more lean protein with less sodium. Pair them with a side of fresh vegetables instead of chips, and you'll be doing your legs a huge favor. But if you think hot dogs are the primary offender, let's talk about a golden, crispy comfort food that hides a particularly nasty surprise for your circulation. French fries, those irresistible sticks of salty bliss. Whether from a drive-through window or baked in your own oven, fries have a magical ability to make any meal feel a little more special. But there's a catch. The way most fries are prepared transforms them into delivery vehicles for fats that are especially damaging to your blood vessels. Many restaurants reuse their frying oil over and over. With each use, that oil breaks down, creating trans fats, the very substance that can clog your arteries faster than almost anything else. Trans fats are a double-edged sword. They elevate your LDL, the bad cholesterol, while simultaneously lowering your HDL, the good cholesterol, responsible for clearing out plaque. This means that over time, each crunchy bite can contribute to restricting blood flow to your legs, effectively starving your muscles and skin of the oxygen they desperately need. And we can't ignore the salt. A medium serving of fast food fries can contain over 250 milligrams of sodium. And let's be honest, few of us stop at one serving. This sodium spike raises your blood pressure, adding yet more stress to your arteries. The cumulative result is poorer circulation and a heightened risk of peripheral artery disease, which can manifest as leg pain, numbness, and delayed healing. Findings published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition show a direct link between diets high in fried foods and an increased risk of heart disease and circulatory problems. And since your legs are the furthest outpost of your circulatory system, they are often the first to signal distress. Does this mean fries are forbidden forever? No, but mindfulness is your best friend. At home, Try baking or air frying them with heart-healthy oils like olive or avocado. And instead of reaching for the salt shaker, experiment with herbs and spices. Rosemary, paprika, or a touch of garlic powder can deliver all the flavor you crave without the circulatory cost. But the culprits aren't always salty or greasy. Sometimes the threat to your legs is sweet, fizzy, and hiding in plain sight in your refrigerator. We're talking about soda. That effervescent, sugary pick-me-up that so many of us reach for without a second thought. But the contents of that can are quietly waging a campaign against your leg health. The primary aggressor is sugar, and immense amounts of it. A single 12-ounce can of soda can deliver between 30 and 40 grams of sugar, which is like mainlining 8 to 10 teaspoons of it directly into your bloodstream. When your blood sugar spikes this dramatically and repeatedly over time, it can cause devastating damage to the delicate nerves in your legs and feet. This condition, known as peripheral neuropathy, can lead to numbness, tingling, burning pain, or a complete loss of sensation, making you unaware of injuries until they become severe. This high sugar intake also fuels insulin resistance, paving the way for type 2 diabetes, a major risk factor for both poor circulation and nerve damage. And it's not just about the sugar. The high acidity of many sodas can contribute to inflammation along the walls of your blood vessels, making them more susceptible to narrowing. Less room in your arteries means less blood can reach your lower limbs, and your legs will be the first to feel the deficit. A long-term study in the journal Diabetologia found a significant link between regular consumption of sugary drinks and a higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes, with all the accompanying leg complications. So, what's a better choice? Try sparkling water with a splash of real fruit juice, or an unsweetened iced tea with a twist of lemon. You'll still get a refreshing, satisfying sip, but without the destructive blood sugar roller coaster. And while soda's sweetness directly assaults your nerves, our next item harms your legs in a quieter, more insidious way, by spiking your blood sugar almost as quickly, even though it doesn't taste sweet at all. Let's talk about white bread. It's soft, it's comforting, and it's the unassuming foundation of so many meals, from morning toast to a midday sandwich. But its fluffy texture is the result of a refining process that strips the flour of nearly all its fiber and nutrients. Without that fiber to act as a brake, your body converts the carbohydrates into glucose almost instantly. This sudden surge in blood sugar isn't just a concern for those with diabetes. It's a stressor for everyone's system. These repeated blood sugar spikes can inflict cumulative damage on the small blood vessels that nourish your legs and feet. Over time, this damage compromises the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your tissues, which slows down healing and makes you more vulnerable to infections. If you already have any underlying circulation issues, a diet rich in white bread can silently exacerbate them. This isn't just a theory. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition linked diets high in refined carbohydrates to an increased risk of heart disease and poor vascular health. And as we've said, your legs are at the very end of that vascular highway. They're the first to show the signs of a traffic jam. The solution is simple. Swap white bread for whole grain or sprouted grain varieties. These options are rich in fiber, which slows sugar absorption, provides steady energy, and helps protect your vascular system. And when you make that toast, top it with a healthy fat or protein, like avocado or natural peanut butter, to make it even more beneficial for your legs. Now, while white bread slowly weakens your circulation, our next treat combines sugar and unhealthy fats in a way that can deliver a 1-2 punch to your legs. I know, it almost feels unfair to cast a shadow on something so entwined with happy memories. A scoop after Sunday dinner, a cone on a sweltering summer day. Ice cream is more than a dessert. It's an experience. But here's the difficult truth. It's also a dual threat to your circulatory health, thanks to its potent combination of sugar and saturated fat. That creamy, decadent sweetness comes from a high concentration of added sugars, which send your blood sugar soaring just like soda and white bread do. Over time, these repeated spikes can damage the fine network of blood vessels and nerves in your legs and feet, leading to numbness, tingling, and sluggish healing. Then there's the saturated fat. Most ice cream is made with heavy cream and often enriched with butter fat. These saturated fats are known to raise LDL cholesterol, the kind that builds up as plaque in your arteries, while lowering your helpful HDL cholesterol. It's a recipe for arterial narrowing, especially in the legs, where the path for blood is already long and challenging. This reduced circulation means your muscles will tire more easily, injuries will heal more slowly, and your risk of peripheral artery disease will climb. Does this mean you must bid farewell to ice cream forever? Absolutely not. The key is to treat it as a special occasion. Opt for smaller portions, or explore options made with lower-fat dairy or plant-based milks. You could even try making nice cream at home by blending frozen bananas. It's naturally sweet, wonderfully creamy, and free of the ingredients that harm your legs. But while ice cream is often a seasonal indulgence, our final culprit might be lurking in your freezer year-round, packing a heavier punch of sodium, fat, and hidden additives than most of us realize. Let's open that freezer door and talk about frozen pizza. It's the hero of a lazy evening, the savior of a forgot-to-plan dinner night. But while frozen pizza saves you time in the kitchen, it can exact a long-term cost on your legs. First and foremost, frozen pizza is a heavyweight champion of sodium. A single personal-sized pizza can easily contain over 100 to 200 milligrams, more than half the daily amount recommended by the American Heart Association. All that salt drives up your blood pressure, which, over time, inflicts stress and damage upon the arteries that supply your legs and feet. Then there's the fat. It's not just the saturated fat from cheese and processed meats. You'll often find trans fats hidden in the crust and toppings. As we've learned, these are the fats that clog your arteries and suppress your good cholesterol. This narrowing of your blood vessels makes it increasingly difficult for oxygen-rich blood to complete its journey to your lower limbs, which can manifest as pain, fatigue, or an inability to heal from minor injuries. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found a direct link between diets high in ultra-processed foods, like frozen pizza, and significantly higher rates of heart and vascular disease. And what affects your heart inevitably affects your legs. If pizza night is a beloved ritual, you don't have to abandon it. Try making your own. Start with a whole grain crust. Top it with fresh vegetables and lean protein, and use a moderate amount of cheese. You'll slash the sodium and eliminate the bad fats and additives, while still enjoying all the savory, cheesy satisfaction you love. So there you have it. 7 foods that, despite their comforting familiarity, can quietly compromise the health of your legs over time. The truth is, the choices we make at our dinner table create ripples that travel all the way to our toes. Every single bite either reinforces our strength, keeping our steps steady and sure, or it makes it just a little bit harder for our legs to carry us through the moments we cherish. But here is the wonderful news. You don't have to give up everything you enjoy. Small, consistent changes. A simple swap here, a slightly smaller portion there, can protect your circulation, strengthen your muscles, and keep you moving with freedom and ease for years to come. Think of it this way. Your legs have carried you on a lifetime of journeys. They deserve a little care in return. So perhaps this week, you'll skip the soda and pour a tall glass of water infused with lemon. Maybe you'll trade the white bread for a hearty whole-grain loaf. Most importantly, remember that you are in control. Every mindful choice is a step toward a future filled with painless morning walks and active afternoons. Your legs are ready to take you anywhere you want to go. All you have to do is give them the right fuel for the journey. If you found this information valuable, please let us know by typing a 1 in the comments. Share this with a friend who might benefit from it, and make sure you're subscribed to Health 365. Your healthiest steps are still ahead of you.